Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Meredith Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. I try to have a mix of videos like this one that's a little more informational in nature and writing vlogs. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, again, do make sure you click the subscribe button. Today, we're going to be talking all about Camp NaNo, which is an event that takes place in April and July each year. There is sometimes, I think, a little bit of confusion about what Camp NaNo is, how is it different than NaNoWriMo that takes place in November. So we're just going to be going over the basics here. The big thing that I want you to take away from this video is that Camp NaNo is for everyone. You could be a beginner writer, you could be an advanced writer, you could be working on a collection of short stories or poetry, you could be working on an epic fantasy novel. Any part of the writing process that you're in, whether you're outlining, whether you're finishing up the final draft before you send it off to agents, whatever you're doing in your writing journey, Camp NaNo is for you. So let's start first with just answering the question, what is Camp NaNo? Camp NaNo, like I said, is an event that takes place every year in April and July. It's run by the same organization that does NaNoWriMo in November, which stands for National Novel Writing Month. Camp NaNo allows participants to set their own goals, and it provides a supportive writing community throughout those months. The question I see asked a lot oftentimes when it comes to NaNoWriMo is who can participate? And so who can participate in Camp NaNo? It's literally everyone. Anyone can participate in these months. It is a much more flexible type of challenge. The best part of Camp NaNo is that you can create your own goal and you don't need to be constrained by that 50,000 word count mark that is the benchmark for winning NaNoWriMo in November. You can outline a new project, you can draft a new project, you can revise, you can edit, you can work on a poetry collection, you can do any type of writing related project that you want. Next, let's talk about how Camp NaNo is different than NaNoWriMo. The official challenge in November for NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words of a new project by the end of the month. Now, I know there are people who call themselves Nano Rebels and they set their own goals in November, and that's fine, but the official challenge for NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words. Camp NaNo, like I've said, is much more flexible because you get to set your own goal. The other great thing about Camp NaNo is that you can change your goal after the month has gotten started. So if you make your goal to write 50,000 words, let's say in the month of April, and you get a week into the challenge and you realize that 50,000 words is not going to happen, you can change it. You can lower it to 30,000 or something else that's going to be more realistic for you. Overall, I would say Camp NaNo is a much more relaxed writing challenge than NaNoWriMo is. You can make the challenge for yourself as difficult or as easy as you like, and regardless of that goal, you can still participate in the various events that the NaNoWriMo organization has planned for April and July. There are, of course, still the forums that you can chat in, and there are groups that you can join. I'll get into that in just a second. And you can, of course, connect with other writers on various social media platforms who are also participating in the challenge. I will say there is generally a smaller group of writers who participate in the various camps than there are who participate in NaNoWriMo in November. And I also personally don't feel like NaNoWriMo promotes the camps quite as much as they promote NaNoWriMo. So there isn't quite the same level of hype and excitement that you get in like October and then of course leading into November when the real challenge starts. However, I will say that because it is a smaller group of people who tend to participate, it also tends to be people, and this is, a generalization for sure, but I have found that the people who are participating in Camp NaNo are a lot of times more serious about what they're trying to accomplish than the people that you get in November. A lot of times for NaNoWriMo in November, you have people who find out about it like the day before it starts and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And they post on social media about how they're gonna participate and they write like 100 words for 2 days and then they quit. And that they tried and that's fine. I'm not saying that that's wrong to like do that or something, but there's more people in November who kind of try to do it on a whim and usually don't succeed compared to the people in April and July try to do the camps. They usually are people who are a little more serious about it. They're setting a realistic goal for whatever part of the writing process they're currently in. And because there's that smaller, slightly more serious group of people who are participating, it can be a lot easier to find people to connect with. In November, of course, for NaNoWriMo, there is an almost overwhelming amount of videos and posts and Twitter threads and all kinds of things on social media, and it can get to be a lot. There's no way to filter through all of that or consume all of that while you're also trying to do the challenge yourself. But for Camp NaNo, because there's a smaller group participating, there is less content out there, and you have a better chance of finding people who are either in the same age category as you, or who are writing the same genre you're writing, or that you can connect with on a more of a one-on-one level. When it comes to goals for Camp NaNo, you can choose, again, pretty much anything you want. You can choose a word count goal, you can choose a page goal, whether that is writing a certain number of pages, revising a certain number of pages, that type of thing. You can also set a time goal for yourself. So maybe your goal is you're going to write 30 minutes every day for the whole month. I've also seen people do challenges for themselves where they're trying to write, for example, like a poem every single day during the month. And so you can, again, really make the challenge something that is unique and really motivating for you in particular. If you'd like to participate in Camp NaNo, you are going to go to the regular NaNoWriMo.org website. There used to be a separate Camp NaNoWriMo website, and that is no longer a thing. They have merged the two into just the one website. So if you go to NaNoWriMo.org, you can click My NaNoWriMo at the top and select the projects option. From there, you can click Announce New Project and fill in the details for your project. Or if you're wanting to continue working on a previous project, like I will be doing, you can go to that project and select Create a New Goal. That way, the one project will be linked to both what you did during NaNoWriMo and now what you'll be working on for Camp NaNo. You will notice when you go to create a project that you can only choose a word count goal. This is something that the NaNoWriMo team has said they're working on, but it's also been like 14 months and they haven't fixed it. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But to me, this is a little bit annoying. I'm like, can you just fix it? Is it really that hard to add these other options into the drop-down menu? I don't know. I'm not a web designer. Maybe that's really complicated. It doesn't seem like it should be that complicated though. Anyway, if you go on the website and you want to make a goal that is different than the word count goal default, you kind of have to fudge it a little bit. On the old Camp NaNo website, you could select a time goal or a page count goal or a word count goal. They haven't brought that functionality over to the new website, so you're gonna have to convert time or page goals into words. Let me explain. What the NaNoWriMo organization suggests doing is thinking of your goal in terms of units and making those units words. So if your goal is to write 30 minutes a day or 60 minutes a day, you would make your goal 60 words per day and then just think of words as minutes. So your goal for the entire month would be 60 times 30, which is 1800. And then you would update it accordingly each day. I think that's kind of annoying. Again, I really hope they get that fixed by July so that camp in July is a little more straightforward. That's the way it is for now, and we're gonna just deal with it. If you've been around for a little while, you might remember on the old website as well that there were something called Camp NaNo cabins. Sadly, the cabins have been done away with in this transition to the new site. For those of you who are unfamiliar, you used to be able to create or join a cabin, which sort of played into the whole camp, summer camp sort of theme. You could create a cabin that included other writer friends, or you could just be dumped randomly into a cabin with other users. Each cabin had their own separate page, kind of like the regional group pages do now, and you had your own separate little forum section that you could message each other and chat. So in general, the idea was that you would have a smaller group of writers that you could connect with and chat with and encourage each other during the month. For me personally, the cabins were a little hit or miss. If you got dumped into a random cabin with people who didn't really care about the challenge or connecting with other people, then it was kind of a dud. But if you got put in a group with people who were really enthusiastic, it could be a nice experience. experience. In place of the cabins though, there are now groups you can join on the Camp NaNo forums. These are user-created threads to cater to different niches of writers. There are already a ton of different groups on the forum, so definitely go check that out if you're looking for a specific type of group to join. If you don't see a group that looks like it fits you exactly, you can create your own group. There are a huge range of groups that are available. Some of them are aimed at specific age categories, others are aimed at specific genres that you're writing. Some of the groups are incredibly specific. I saw one, I was on there the other day, I saw one that was LGBTQ plus BIPOC writers who write like horror monster stories, which to me that was like super specific, but there were people in there who were chatting and were really excited about that kind of group. Other groups are much more broad. There was one group that was just like people in their 20s. So if that's you, you could join. All you need to do to join the group of your choice is to pop into the thread and start saying hello and chatting with the other users who are in there. You can also chat in multiple groups. It's not like you have to pick one and you're locked in for the rest of the time. You can certainly jump around and meet new people in the various threads. One of the other features of NaNoWriMo in November is the prizes. If you win Nano by writing 50,000 words, you do get access to the winner goodies, and you can get, usually they're discount codes for different writer resources. Camp NaNo also has prizes. They're not usually quite as nice, but they are there. And so if you meet your goal, you have officially won Camp NaNo and you can get access to those. I don't know what they're going to be for this year. I did poke around to see if I could find out. I did not see anything listed yet, but usually again, they're like discount codes to different writer resources. They will also, I assume, have Camp NaNo merch in the NaNoWriMo store. Usually that's t-shirts or water bottles and that kind of thing if you're interested in purchasing that type of stuff too. I did get a question over on Instagram about Camp NaNo, and they wanted to know whether I prefer Camp NaNo or NaNoWriMo. Personally, I do prefer the official NaNoWriMo in November. I totally allow myself to get sucked into all the hype and excitement that goes on between the beginning of October and the end of November. And the vast amount of participation across the entire writing community is just really exciting. It gets you motivated and inspired to do the work that you say you want to do. And honestly, NaNoWriMo is a true challenge for me. I've participated for 5 years now. I have won all 5 years that I've participated, but they are not easy wins. I'm not the type of writer who can write 10,000 words a day and kind of knock the challenge out in like 5 or 6 days. It takes me all month to do it, and I really have to be serious, buckle down every day and do the work, or I'm not gonna make it. Camp is of course a little more chill, it's a little more relaxed because you can make your own goal, you can change it if it looks like it's gonna be too hard or too much effort. And there's something about when you create your own goal, it's not quite as challenging. In November, I'm trying to meet somebody else's challenge, and I like that better than creating a challenge for myself. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I tend to like the big challenge that is NaNoWriMo. There is also a little less participation, like I mentioned, so the hype and excitement level isn't quite at the peak that it reaches in November, but it is still a really fun month, and I do plan to participate this year. So that is Camp NaNo. That's what Camp NaNo is all about. Are you participating in Camp NaNo this April? If you are planning to participate, let me know what you are maybe thinking of making as your goal. Are you going to do a word count goal, a time goal? I am planning to participate. I'm still trying to work out exactly what I want my goal to be, but I do think my goal is going to be time-based. I will probably make another video as we get later into this month that goes over exactly what my goal is and how I'm planning to participate and all that kind of stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think about Camp NaNo versus NaNoWriMo, whether you've participated in camp before, and what your plans for April are looking like they might be. If you have any other questions about Camp NaNo, definitely let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer if I can, or maybe someone else can chime in if they have an answer. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can also find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and don't forget to check out my website, meredithphillips.com, where you can sign up for my newsletter, and the next edition of that is going out at the beginning of April. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Between November and the end of between the beginning of October and the end of December. Oh my gosh! Oh, my internet isn't working, so I can't check. Spectrum internet is the worst!